the bulk of this system, known as the Salamander system, is funded by the state of Missouri. And so the Missouri State Labs can access this database for little to no cost, literally, okay? And then obviously there's a big need with inventory asset management. So what I'm gonna do without further ado is I'm gonna sign in, if I can get my keyboard to work, I'm gonna sign in with one of my demo accounts. So this database that I've just signed into, it's a website, it's a secure website that requires a username and password. And the Missouri State Labs can have as many username and passwords as you deem necessary. So that one of the beautiful things about it is multiple people can manage this data set. It doesn't have to be just Melissa, as an example, that's managing all this data in one spreadsheet or spreadsheets that you're passing around from person to person. It's an online database that can be accessed anywhere that you have internet access. A phone, a tablet, a computer, your house, your office, you're on vacation, whatever, okay? So this is the product called Salamander Live. And this database manages both personnel and equipment. We'll talk about both a little bit. What I'm gonna do first is look at organizations from the main menu. And please understand that my current login has access to a whole lot of data for sample demonstration purposes across the country. What I'm going to do is take a look here. I think, Melissa, that we have already set one up. So in the system, for demonstration purposes, I have created an organization. Again, there's no limit to how many organizations you want to create. So if there's different divisions or departments within the Missouri State Public Health Laboratory that you wish to track inventory in, you can certainly do that. So I have created an organization for today's demonstration called the Missouri State Public Health Laboratory. What we're going to do right now is very easily put in the equipment that Melissa provided as a demonstration item. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at some product examples. We're going to look at the Biomech. I'm just going to copy and paste this text in here. Okay. Just come over here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to come over to equipment, wide open database with zero limits on how much equipment you wish to put in. I'm going to go ahead and add a piece of equipment in. And I'm assuming that the Biomech product is a consumable. So what we're going to do is we're going to add this into the Missouri State Public Health Laboratory. Every single database field that I'm about to go through is absolutely searchable. You can also search by multiple fields at one time to dial into the exact product that you're looking for. So whether it's 1,000 items that you have in the database or 100,000 items that you have in the database, it's very, very easy to find those products. So the system does have the ability to auto-generate an ID number. I want to take a quick glance at the document provided by Melissa. You can see we have a part number here. I wanted to show you that you could, if you wanted to, you could put that part number in. You don't have to do that, but you can, okay? So we have the item name, the organization that it belongs to, the description of the product that we put in. The station could be, I know one of the things, Melissa, that you had mentioned was being able to delineate on and very clearly and cleanly sort out what product is in room 105 or what's in room 206. And so for today's little demonstration, we're just going to type in room 206. So the category, moving on down the line, the category, again, in this case, you know, if you have different types of filtered tips, for example, or different categories of products that you want to search by, and you want to go in the database and say, give me all the filtered tips we have, or all the bandages we have, or all the widgets we have, anything, and it would find all the products in that category very, very quickly. Moving on down the line, I did mark this as a consumable. So you see when I have that consumable check mark checked, we do have this inventory tab, which we'll get to. So Biomech, we have the model here we can put in, you get the idea, manufacturer's year, in-service date. If you're doing any vehicle tracking, you can put in the VINs. I realize that might not be an immediate need. But if any of your products do have serial numbers that are maybe non-consumable items, you can track those as well. We can put in a size if needed. We have quantity in unit. You said 10 racks per case. We might get 100 at a time. You could put a max in stock, and you indicated that your reorder quantity was, your threshold amount was 40 cases. So the reorder quantity was going to be 40. Okay, pretty simple stuff. And they're distributed or sold as a case. We have 100 cases, 10 racks in a case. Hopefully that makes sense. I'm going to go ahead and say save. And just that quickly, the Biomech P250 sterile tips are in the system. The database gives us the ability to perform document upload. So if there's any pertinent documents, maybe a purchase order, a bill of sale, an invoice, some type of inspection or recalibration notice, anything, literally anything, can be attached as a document so that when we open up these Biomech tips in the database, it's a one-stop shop for everything related to this product that we're inventorying. We'll move on. One of the other features is the very, very, very powerful feature that allows us to add alerts. One thing to mention, I put in at the direction of Melissa a reorder quantity of 40. When we hit that number of 40, Melissa and anyone else in your department that you deem necessary can get an automated email that says, hey, whoa, time out. We're low on Biomech tips. We're low on this product. We've hit our minimum quantity, and that will happen automatically. In addition to that, this alert list that you see right here, you have the ability, the unlimited ability, to create as many alerts as you deem necessary for every single item. And any of these alerts will trigger an automated email to anybody that you want in your agency. Okay. So for example, if we need to dispose of these Biomech tips because I'm just making this up, because maybe they expire, or they do have a throwaway date, we're going to say on 12/31/20, we're going to say throw away. Everything in this system is reportable. So it will, as you'll see in a few minutes, there is a series of reports that show when all these tasks were completed and who they were completed by, so that you have a complete audit trail of all your inventory alerts that you have set up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to press the print button, and I'm going to print some sample barcodes for us right now. I'm going to print this as a PDF, and so we can see it on the screen. And in just a moment, we're going to have a Tyvek label that's barcoded, that's very, very durable, almost impossible to tear. And you'll see that label here in just a quick hot second. There is the label. So when I print it to a PDF, it looks a little strange, but if you could envision a 2-inch wide by 1-inch tall Tyvek label that's produced, and am I suggesting that we put a label on every box or every case? No, I mean, you could, but you don't need to. So wherever these Biomech tips are stored, in this case room 206, you could have this label on the warehouse shelf or the floor or the pallet, wherever you're storing this product. And then that way, you'll see in a minute how we use this barcode for inventory control. All right, so we're gonna go into the inventory app. What I'm about to demonstrate is how powerful, how mobile, how easy to use this system is. And what you didn't see there is when I opened up the inventory app, it automatically signed me in. Right now, I'm using a username that's called mcid.ipad1. That's one of my demo accounts. Normally, you would be signed in with your first name and last name. You would have your own security password, and that would allow the system to track and document who's giving this product out, who's issuing this equipment out. As you can see in the app here, the app has 3 main functions: issue inventory, return inventory, adjust inventory. And I'm very quickly going to go through all 3 of these. Very, very powerful. I'm going to start with issue inventory. Okay, and the system, I didn't explain this very well, but the system has every ability to do consumable and non-consumable goods in your inventory system based on what your needs are. What I'm going to do for demonstration purposes first is I'm going to press the search button, because I did not print a label for the Black Dragon. So I'm going to type in BLACKDRAGON, search, and look at that. There's our fictitious police gloves, and it says I've got 500 cases. What I'm going to do right now is click on this, and you can see that I'm lowering or degrading the quantity. Okay, so right now I've got 10 cases at the bottom of the screen in my cart, if you will. However, if I click on the cart at the bottom of the screen and then click on the item, I have every ability to say, you know what, I'm not going to take 10, I'm going to take 100. Okay, so now just that quickly, I've got 100. What I'm going to do to show speed, and I'm intentionally, this is going to cause it to throw a little warning message. I'm going to press issue, and it says, Brendan, hey, before you can do that, before you can issue product out, we have to be able to give it to somebody. And not knowing how the Missouri State Labs issues equipment, it's worth mentioning that the system has the ability to issue equipment to a person or to an agency or department or division, depending on what your needs are. So what I'm going to do is in the upper left-hand corner where we see the little symbol of the person, these could be part of the system, as I mentioned, part of the Salamander system allows you, let me scroll down past these volunteers for a minute. So you can see here some folks in the database. The screen could look just like this, but obviously it would be your people that work for the Missouri State Labs. So with photo. And so you could say, you know what, I'm going to give 100 cases of gloves to Ron Smith from Des Moines County Cert. So when I click on Ron, it says 100 items to Ron. All I'm going to do right now is press issue, and I'm absolutely done. The system now knows we had 500, we issued some to Ron. When I come back over the database and simply refresh this screen, you'll see now that my quantity is now 400. It was from my phone in the upper right-hand screen of the corner of the screen. There's a little barcode button in the upper right-hand corner. I'm going to press that. It's going to turn my camera on. You're going to see my hand moving around. Okay, my camera's on my iPhone. All I'm going to do is pick my phone up and scan that barcode. Boom, done. Because that is a consumable, the system knows that it's to ask me for a quantity. So it's saying, Brandon, how many cases of Biomech tips do you want to take? Right, and I can just go up and down on this pinwheel, but I can't take any more than what we have in stock. Okay, so what I'm going to do is we'll just take 20. And my camera comes right back on so that I can scan the next item, because I can add multiple products into the shopping cart and issue them out to a person. Normally, Melissa's photo would show right up immediately. You would then select that person. And then obviously this is not the right Melissa, and we're going to press issue. And just that quickly, we've issued out 20 cases of Biomech tips. And one of the things that we can do from the app is go to a different function called adjust inventory. And when we do that, I'm going to press the scan barcode button here. I'm going to scan this barcode. The product will now come right up on the screen with photo. Okay. And you can see here as I scroll down that it currently says I've got 80 in stock. These are normally delivered in lots of 100 cases. We just got another 100 cases in. So all I'm going to do is click on the number 80. And I can change that to 180 since we got 100 new ones. And I'm going to also add a comment that says, I'm just being silly here, that says Amazon delivered. Amazon delivery on 4/13/21. Okay, and anything I type in there is absolutely reportable. So I just updated from my phone. I updated the database no matter where I'm at in the country. Now when I come back over here to the database, come into equipment. What I'm going to do now is to show a little bit of functionality. I'm going to click on organization name, and I'm going to say, give me all the equipment for the Missouri State Public Health Laboratory. And there's the items that we put in. Some of those items were put in from the last demonstration that we did. But you're smart enough to know that the Biomech P250s are the ones we just updated. And now you can see the system already knows I've got 180 cases in there. Okay. So my phone is communicating back to the database almost immediately. And in addition to that, on any of your products, we have these built-in reports that can be generated as PDF or Excel. And one of the ones that's very powerful is an equipment history report that is basically a complete audit trail of everything that happened to the product. So you can see here that it gives me the item name, the make, the model, the category, who it belongs to, what our current quantity on hand is. But in addition to that, you can see my note here that I just typed in from my phone. It says Amazon delivered on 4/13/21, and we added in manually 100 cases at that time. The system does allow you to import from a CSV or Excel file equipment data into the system. So for example, When I click on import here from the main menu, you can go to equipment. There is a series of download import instructions. And you can see here that all of the fields on this page, make this a little larger, all the fields on this page are absolutely importable, including quantities. So rather than having to do all this manual data entry, the system absolutely does allow for the import of equipment data, no problem. When we're at reports here, the system also gives us the ability to not only import, but export, okay? And it gives us the ability to export basically custom reports based on what your needs are. In addition to that, alerts. So you can see here that I can say, give me all my pending inspections and have that report populate based on the product that's on the screen. So, so one of the things I have is pending expirations. Let's say run that report. And I should have some in here. I think I set it up as an expiration. Yeah, I've got one here for the biomech tips. So you can see here that it gives me the alert date of 12/31/2030, and it says throw away. Okay, so that's how those look. All of the inventory reports will pop or open up in as a CSV or glorified Excel. Consumable usage summary is going to be, again, you can put in date ranges, but this is going to look a little different in the sense that it's going to be by product. So now it's just showing you not every transaction, but it's showing you every product and the quantities that went out the door, and again, including cost. So if you just want to know what's our status on biomech tips or small gloves, you have every ability to do that. One of the things that the system allows for from the mobile phone or tablet is the ability to perform a physical count. And so I could walk through the warehouse or walk through room 206 and scan the barcodes for the products that we're supposed to have in 206 and update physical counts, physically perform an inventory. And you'll see when we run this physical count history report, it gives me the ability to run a report based on what's been counted or not counted. But it's going to give you, again, that audit trail of inventory. One thing that's worth mentioning is that one of the things we take a lot of pride in is how easy this system is to kickstart. And literally, as early as tomorrow, as using that as an example only, as early as tomorrow, I could have this operational for the Missouri State Public Health Lab. And you could be inventorying your products tomorrow. That's how easy it is to implement. And again, with the import capabilities, we can get a lot of data into this system in a very short fashion, get your products barcoded and out the door.